Hi everyone, Menachem Brodie here with you once again from HVT Training, your certified and experienced USA Cycling expert level coach and strength and conditioning coach. Today to talk about, congratulations, you got a power meter! Let's get you started. Getting a ton of emails the last couple of years since starting the HVT YouTube channel and pushing the Facebook page, and when I say pushing I mean putting quality content up there. So if you haven't checked it out yet, go over. We get articles, blog posts from the HVT website, other interesting articles that contribute to your being able to train smarter and better. So we're getting a lot of questions, a lot of emails. Hey, Coach Brodie, I just got a power meter, but I don't know what these numbers mean. Intensity factor, TSS, how do I make common sense out of this? I don't get it. So the first thing we want to do is we're just going to start off by saying you've got a power meter. Absolutely fantastic. You've taken a huge step towards getting more out of your riding, and you don't have to be a serious rider to have a power meter and gain more out of it. Unfortunately, a lot of people think, oh, I don't need a power meter, I'm not a racer. If you're serious about your fitness and your well-being, whether it's losing weight or maintaining lean muscle mass or coming back from being ill and really taking your life and taking control over it, the power meter can be a great way to not just ride your bike, but to ride your bike and get results. The power meter is one of the most powerful things that you can have as a weapon in your arsenal to help get in shape and stay in shape for a very long time. The first thing we want to do when you get a power meter is learn how to use it properly. And what I mean by this is a ton of emails. My power numbers seem to be off. It's saying I'm doing 350 watts, but the pros I ride with, or the guy I met who's flying up the hill told me his watts aren't even that high. What's going on? Am I really strong? The first thing is break out the user manual and find out how to calibrate your power meter. That's really important. Calibration for the power meter should happen before every ride if you're a serious rider, or at least once a week, with the exception being for the SRM power meter. Why is that an exception? It's because the SRM is the gold standard, and it really only needs to be calibrated either after an accident has really taken a beating or when the battery's replaced. So they'll do it, they need a bucket of water with a string, it's a whole big thing, let your mechanics do that, or if you're mechanically inclined, you can do it at home. Once you have the habit of calibrating your power meter, we need to remember that in the fall, spring, and winter, that the temperature changes of the bike going from inside the house where it's warmer to outside can affect the power meter readings. So here we're on my porch. What I'll do during the fall, winter, and spring is it's covered. I'll put the bike outside the night before, so that way when I go to start my ride or my training session with the team the next morning, I'm able to actually just go out, start my ride, calibrate as I go, or right before I walk out the door here, and then it's ready. So if you don't calibrate frequently, it's not going to allow you to see the true numbers of what you're doing. So if you're seeing numbers that are a little bit wonky, that might be why. The second thing is to make sure that your FTP number in your software is properly set. So that's another reason why a lot of riders have actually had some issues, is they're saying my intensity factor is 1.2, but I know that can't be right. Well, did you set your functional threshold power in your software? Oh, right, I completely forgot about that. So you can set the FTP number, your functional threshold power, what you're able to maintain for a field test, which is a percentage of your 1 hour power that you'd be able to hold for a time trial, which is how we base all of your intensity factor and your training stress scores based off of, which we'll have videos for later, so check back. Once you have the FTP set on your head unit and in your software, you're going to be able to go through and be able to properly understand and use your power numbers. So those are two really important things. Now, going back even further than that, so first we learn how to calibrate the power meter. The second thing is we make sure that the software is set with our FTP. But there's a step in between that we skipped. And what that is, when you first get your power meter, for the first 2 weeks, just go ride your bike. Try and get an understanding or a feel, what does 200 watts mean to you? What does 100 watts mean to you? What does it feel like going up that hill that always seems to get you out of breath or really working? If you start with this, you'll be able to understand a little bit better what the numbers on the power meter actually mean. And then when you go for your field test, you'll be able to properly gauge your efforts. So this is really important. So congratulations, you started with a power meter, you've purchased one of the many on the market now. It's really grown immensely over the last 9 years since I started coaching. Back then we had SRM and we had Power Tap, and that was pretty much it, guys. We didn't have these pedal systems, and now we have vector pedals, Power Beat, Power 2 Max. We have all these power meters out on the market, so it's becoming much more affordable and accessible for you guys. So if you don't have a power meter, don't think of it as something racers only have. If you're serious about your fitness and your health, just your health, it really allows you to get more out of your training. You don't have to become crazy and delve into the numbers, but you can look at the numbers and it really allows you to make sure you're getting what you need. So congratulations on picking up your power meter. Remember, number 1, learn how to calibrate it. Number 2, just ride for 2 weeks. Just ride your bike as you normally do and see what are these numbers kind of arranged to in perceived exertion and my normal rides. And number 3 is go out, do that field test, and make sure that you're setting your FTP number, your functional threshold power number, in your unit head and in your software. So until next time, enjoy riding the first 2 weeks of your power meter. Congratulations, you've taken a huge first step towards becoming much more healthy, much more fit, and getting more out of your riding. And until next time, remember, train smarter, not harder, and it is all about you.